Ladies and gentlemen, business is life, business is culture, business is a lifestyle, business is how we live. Well, this is the Young Business Show with Degwa Power. And today on the couch, we have two amazing sisters, and they are going to talk all about fashion, accessories, clothing. Well, I don't know what else they have up their sleeves, but they're gonna tell us. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
Who is
us.
Eve and who is Maya?
She's Eve.
Uh-huh.
I'm Maya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eve and Maya are our middle names, so our mom is the one who actually came up with the names for us. Like, yeah, why don't you do Eve Maya? Like, how? Nobody would know.
Yeah, then it sounded good, so
It sounded good.
So it sounds good. Let's just go with Eve
let's,
Maya.
let's, let's walk with it.
If it wasn't Eve Maya, what would it have been?
Huh.
Steph Mel
Steph-
Steph.
We had some really awkward names. We actually
But
had-
what is Eve Maya?
Eve Maya is two girls, two sisters trying to explore the fashion world. It would be hard for us to gravitate on one thing in particular because we're young. I'm 21, she's 19.
Oh.
So it's hard for us to come down to one thing and say that's what we're gonna do. So right now we're here and there, but basically in the fashion industry. We also blog, though we haven't.
But
been
what's here?
active
What's
for
here
long.
and there? What specifically
Yeah.
are you doing right
We're
now?
making accessories and we're making clothes at the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you wearing your pieces?
Oh, yeah,
like
most
the katana
definitely.
one is Eve
All right.
Maya,
Mhm.
the earrings are Eve Maya, the necklace is Eve Maya.
And
What she's
this-
wearing is Eve Maya.
And you are Eve Maya.
And we are
And
Eve Maya.
we do
And you
this
also-
every day. Like you always have to find me in an Eve Maya piece. When
You have to preach. You have to walk the talk.
Yeah, you just have to walk the talk. It's just not walking the talk. I like what I make, so I have to wear. I have to wear it. So it's
You
not
have
like
to
I'm doing it
present.
like a job, but he marketed today. I have to wear this. It's like I pick it out. I'm like, this goes with this. Let me go with it.
Why do you think people should love or would love your products?
Because first of all, it's handmade. It's not just generic. We don't put in a design in a computer and we're like 50 of this, 10 of this. We put our heart and soul into it, and that's something in the fashion industry.
But are we buying your heart and soul? I mean,
Yes,
we are buying a
yes, we
product,
are.
yeah?
No. You should
the
not be
process
buying the
that
product.
Mhm.
You buy the process because that's why we find you get people having ridiculous prices to some of the stuff because you don't understand. You have to sketch like for your suit. You have to have a draft. You have to know the seams you're taking and it's a lot of work. So if you're buying, let's say, this stone bracelet, you're just not buying it. You're buying my time and my creativity that I've put into it.
And you promise high quality for everything?
Exactly.
How long have you been doing things? Because, I mean, you sound like you really know, you know your thing. How long have you been doing Eve Maya?
Officially about 2 years now.
Mhm.
When I cleared high school is when we started doing it officially. But like we've been doing
And when
it
was that? That was in the year
2014.
2014?
Yeah.
2 years ago, huh?
Yeah, but then like we've been doing it like in high school, in primary school, like when I think when she was in class 6,
Yeah.
and her friend taught her how to like string beads. So
Just
that's how it
for
started,
fun.
just for fun. It started with like accessories, making beads, and then I got interested into clothes, and we said, let's just do it. Let's just start. I
Let's
think
just do
yeah,
it.
at the beginning, let's just
But
start.
in high school, I think that in Form 3 and 4 for me, started selling bow ties. And I remember I used to sit at the back and I make them during class. And after that, I'm like, yeah, you guys, I'm done. And I actually used to have one friend, yeah, Sonia. She used to buy so many of them. Like, shout out to Sonia. She used to buy so many of them. And she used to make clothes. We used to have a tailor then, but now she can actually do the whole thing. We get clothes. We're like, what do you want? You want to wear for this? And she won talent show twice, 2 years in a row for that. So we thought from there, and having our parents as business-minded people, they're like, you guys, smart up, make it into a business.
You make it sound so easy, like, you know, like I just wake up and, you know, start this whole fashion thing.
It
You make it so, has
actually
it been easy?
No, it hasn't been easy, but I think once you put it in your mind, once you have the passion and you say you're going to start something and you have the drive, you just start it and you just combat everything that comes, all challenges that come, just keep on going.
These challenges that you're saying, that challenges that come, what are some of these challenges that you've had in terms of starting and running Eve Maya?
Undervaluing, like what I said earlier on pricing. There's a time I'm in Catholic University. We had exhibitions. So there's a customer. She came up by my table, She was asking for price of something, I gave it to her. And she's like, hey, you're so expensive. This is supposed to be, she gave me a much lower price that I didn't even buy the beads for. So I looked at her, I was so mad, holding in my words, because I've always been taught customer care and be good to people, but I just blew off because I was like, you don't understand what I put into it. So there's no reason for you to just come out bluntly and say it like that, unless she was somebody who, if it's my sister telling me that, like, hey Steph, this you overpriced, I'd be like, yeah, she understands what I'm doing. So why did she have to say that? I understand it's a Kenyan notion in the creative industry, not just in fashion. It's like, why are you doing this for this much? You know, I can get Mama Nani to do it for me.
I can get from Masai Market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we don't wear things that we buy, and we don't buy and sell. We make like what we have, authentic. So we put our time, our money,
Our minds.
our minds to it. So that's one of the big challenges.
Another one would be, I think, capital, because we're still we're in university, so like sometimes you're just like, wow, okay, I want this fabric, I want to stitch something, but that money needs to come through. Yeah,
But
definitely.
capital.
But did you guys need money when you were starting with Maya? Or or what budget were you guys working
The
on when you
first
started with
time I
Maya?
remember there's a show we went for at Parklands. I can't remember the name. I remember my mom gave us 2,000 and she was like, you pay it back. We've never paid it back.
It's just like, start it.
Start, just
Here's
do it.
2,000, just do
For
it.
what we started with, we didn't need a lot of money, but you know it requires planning. So we didn't pay ourselves for quite some time so that we can put the money back into the business. But right now, I'd say we're good enough. I mean,
So if I'm to start a business, would
Yeah.
you tell every young person, do they need the money or they can just start with anything?
it depends.
Because
on
I mean, I had a guest here who said
Yeah.
that they started on a zero budget. I know they're doing one of the biggest,
I saw it.
you know,
the tour
yeah,
company.
yeah.
It depends.
Mhm.
For sometimes capital is not number one. Passion is, because if you have the passion, that way people can get to see. Oh wow, Kumbe Alex does shows and this. He likes it. You can put in some money and let's shoot at this location. We'll do it. Then again, planning. People have ideas in their heads but fail to
Executing.
execute. So if you want to do something, say start making suits like what you're wearing,
Yeah.
you just can't say I want to make suits. You have to find out the types of materials. So this is different in different kinds of businesses. Some capital is 1 million, others like us 2,000, and we've come far from it. So it's planning yourself and the passion. Because then again, I notice when people see the passion in you, the drive in you, why would they fail to invest in you? I mean,
Steph talked about the friend who
Yeah.
talked about undervaluing and everything. Is it that hard for this market to accept our own locally made things? Or is it that as young entrepreneurs, you guys are not pushing your brands as hard?
I think like you get varied responses. Like
Okay.
there are really young people who are pushing for Kenya and everything Kenyan, but then the other people who are so stuck on what they get from other places.
But
Like,
are the young creatives in Kenya creating quality stuff for this market?
some really are. I believe some really are. Some are really putting the time and the work in. So if you just look for them, you will find really good stuff. It's just that maybe they don't market themselves or we don't like buy their stuff. So yeah.
You guys have been in this for 2 years, and of course, again, you said you blog about fashion.
Yeah,
So
one
at least you have an understanding of the fashion industry.
Yeah.
What will you say is like the biggest lie of fashion entrepreneurship? That any person who wants to get into that industry, what is that lie that I think this is how it's going to be, but it's just a whole fallacy thing. It's not something that is there.
people think fashion designing is having a tailor called Mama Njeri.
Yes.
You pick your image from Google and you're like, Mama Njeri, I need this stitched.
And you're a designer.
But it takes more. What's the process of creating what you create? You said it takes more.
Yeah.
What's the process of creating the clothes or creating the
I'll
accessories?
talk about what I do for jewelry. Sometimes it's a one-off. Like I find a string of beads, I'm like, this would look nice for a bracelet. That's more for the easier one. But for like what I'm wearing here, I had really wanted to work with brass for a long time. So I put in my head I want to work with brass and I want to work with turquoise stones. Put that aside, sketch, then have it done like the bracelet. I have somebody who does it for me because I don't have yet a workshop where I can work with the metals. Plus my hands are too soft for something, so not yet now. I sketch it, I test it like this. You could see some stones are coming off because I've used the wrong glue. So I have to get the right glue. I've done 2 glues on it and it didn't work. So I have to do it again. Then somebody comes and tells me I want to sell this for 200. And I've worked on it, you know. It's taken about a month because I have to put it, wear it during one of the days I'm walking up and about. So it comes out, I'm like, then that's not the right glue. You see. So for me, I sketch, see it, then actualize it.
Melissa, you make the clothes.
Yeah, so for clothing, the basic process is you have to draft it on paper, yeah?
Okay.
Like you get brown paper and you've already gotten the measurements prior. So you draft the measurements. Like you draft, say, your jacket. You see, it's like, it has pieces, it has seams, yeah? So you will draft the you will draft the hand, you will draft the back, you'll draft the front. And in the exact measurements for the person. That can take like 2 hours, 1 hour. It depends on how fast you are and how long you've been doing it basically. And then from that, you cut the fabric from that pattern that you made and then you stitch. But for some people, they just do it.
Just use some ones just
you just like, yeah, I want to make this, just cut and just do it.
I want to be honest with you guys. I mean, you sound so passionate and everything. And for that reason, I'd be so curious about some of the brands or fashion moguls that actually inspire you. And you think, this is where we want to see Eve Maya. What are some of those? Or who are some of those
Personally,
people?
for me, it's Anyango Mpinga. Like,
And that's Kenyan.
Yes,
Because
it
interesting
is.
enough, when people are talking about role models, everyone runs
Oh,
away
yeah.
to the big international.
No.
Annabelle.
She's a stylist. But yeah, for designers, I think Anyango Mpinga, like when I was speaking to her for Pabu last year, she was just telling me how she only does 2 local shows in Kenya, and I was like, wow, yeah, that's where you are. That's really cool. And like she has really good pieces, and I like that. When people hear Kenyan designers, they think Ankara only.
Yeah.
She's so out of the box, like she's always surprising you, just like this, yeah. Another person is Katungule. Katungulu, sorry. Mwendwa, yeah.
And what does Katungulu?
She's a fashion designer.
Yeah.
She's a fashion designer.
All right.
Yeah.
And Stephanie?
For me, it's Adele Deja. She's Nigerian and Dutch, but she works in Kenya. She is ultimate for me. Not that I want to be her, but I like her. I like how she does her things. She's authentic. She's her. She's the kind of, what I'd take from her is, I want somebody one day to see something and they're like, that's Eve Maya jewelry.
For sure, when you see her stuff, you'll just be like,
It's
this
like,
is
that's
Adele.
Adele
It's like,
Deja.
this is just Adele.
You guys are sisters, yeah? And
Yeah.
they say entrepreneurship is like jumping off a cliff
Yeah.
and building a parachute when you're going down. And my question is, when you guys wake up every morning, what inspires you? Just as we wind up the show, because we're out of time.
Oh, okay.
What's the parting shot of
You
what
can go
inspires you? The young
I think we inspire each other. Like we are the driving force to each other. Because she'll think of something, she'll be like, Mel, we need to do this. Like, yeah. So I think it's both of us. It's like a bond, something, I guess.
I think for me, first of all, inspiration does not come every day. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, not today. And probably you have orders to do, but you'll do them because you have to do them. But for inspiration, as she said, being in the same house, being 10 feet away from each other, it's like you have to
You
do
push
this.
each other.
And mostly making it as women, we just have to do it. There's no compromise
Who
about
else?
it. You just have to do it.
Well, all right. Thank you so much for coming to the show. I wish you all the best with Eve Maya, and I can't wait to see you guys on the big international platforms.
We can't wait
You know,
to see
and
Eve
even
Maya.
exactly. Are we getting it for free? Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Well, You thought family business was dead, but they are reinventing it with technology, with fashion, with every single bone of their bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Eve Maya, and you are watching Young Business with Ndegwa Power.